We're thinking we have become modern. And as I was saying, we are picking up cultures, different cultures, and we're thinking the culture that they have is the best culture for our children. We're doing it the wrong way. You just said, our parents, where did they pick this from? From their parents. Most of their parents were stay-home parents.
That's true.
And most of them were illiterate. They didn't go to school. But because there was something that was instilled in them, they bring that continuously. And this is something we have to do with our children. Hilda, sorry to call you Bahati Hilda.
It's okay.
I told you I worked in Office of the President. I was an officer. That means work. You have to be there 7 o'clock. And by the way, you're not only there, you're being deployed. You're here, you're there, But I was so intentional. I created time. I have a 12-year-old. I had him before the wedding. We were at home. So I had a support system to help me. But I was so intentional that at whatever time I came home, however tired I was, I made sure I am home by 5 or 6, latest 8 o'clock. But even in that time, my intention, even in that time, I called home. I spoke to him. Even if he can't speak, the phone is on his ear. Hello, baby.
He hears mommy's voice.
Yes, mommy's voice. He also grows up with that sense of responsibility. My mom is in touch with me.
She checks on me.
She checks on me.
She cares.
She cares. Care.
Yeah. It says a lot. It registers.
It registers.
You'll see that a child will even ask you, Mommy, you didn't call me. Is everything okay?
Yes.
Because he's gotten used to that Mommy will check on me and she wants to know how I am.
So we have to be intentional, Hilda. Once you're intentional.
That reminds me, because I've been talking to my 3-year-old. He's had speech delay, and he's just trying to catch up with words. But every time I would talk to the sister, I would say, "Give me Ariel," and he was really very eager to talk to me. And so every time I spoke to him, in my mind, I was like, I'm planting a seed into him. It's possible he can't say back or he can't respond, but I will tell him the words that I know he understands. If I tell him I love you, I missed you, I'm coming back home to see you. And you see, like, it lights a fire in him. It connects him in such a way that when you go back, he looks at you in a way of, I heard from you. We spoke on phone. And that's very important, because now that means connection has been actually improved. Back from when we were, back then in that generation, communication was very hard. You've gone to work, yes, you've gone to work until you come back. But right now we even have phones. But do you know that our busyness, which is an excuse, because everyone is busy. But again, there are people who are busy on TikTok, even parents. You're cooking, you're watching TikTok, and the child is busy wanting attention, beating you as a mother so that you can look at them. And you're telling them, you first leave me, I'm even cooking. But food is burning, you're on TikTok because you're going to watch like 100 of them. You're scrolling, your husband needs attention. So you end up saying, I'm exhausted, but who exhausted you?
And children pick up every little thing that you do, even without you realizing they actually do. So when our son, we noticed he was becoming addicted to the phone, wanting to watch, videos, Cocomelon. So we noticed that when we wanted to get him off that, we had to do it ourselves. So we actually had a discussion with my wife, and she told me, you know what, if we're going to tell him not to want to be on phone, we can't be on phone. So when we are home, our phones are down. So when he said, Daddy, put for me, he knows no one is touching the phone. So we are all fine.
We are all equal.
Exactly. So when we want to watch something, then we'll give him a laptop to watch something. Then he says, okay.
Everyone is on phone.
Exactly.
Wow, that's a good one. That's a good one.
I'm going back onto parenting.
Yes.
You see, when we give birth to children, we usually say, she's a baby. He's a baby. He won't understand. And then, when we're talking to them, we say, oh, Chuchu, he'll grow up. Because remember, the mind is empty. It is developing. So whatever you plant,
it's what he grabs.
It's what he's going to grab. When you're pregnant, they'll tell you, don't be stressed because it will affect the child.
The baby will already understand.
The baby will come out stressed.
Don't play loud music, sudden.
You see that, Hilda? So that you can't depart from that
Okay.
So when the baby comes out, my children, I speak to them like, you know, the way I
Like
speak to
mature
you,
people, yeah.
like mature people. And so they know. My 8-month-old, of course, they're learning how to beat. So he hits you, and then he hits you with his head, and then he wants to see how you react. And he said, no, don't hit me. And when you change your face, he will understand, oh, okay,
Mommy's
I think
annoyed.
there's something she's speaking to me. And then he will stop. And then when he hits you, you tell him, no, you don't hit mama. Without me hitting first. So when he hits the second time, you get the hand, hit him, and say, don't hit mama. But to some of us, he does that. Muleke, mwana.
Kabitagera.
What does the Bible say? When Mary was conceiving, what happens? The Spirit of the Lord. We are spirit, and then we receive flesh or body in the wombs. So this is a spirit.
It's a container that is being created.
And a
but
mature
the
spirit.
Mature.
A mature spirit. That when you speak something, they will understand. They will know. They will know, Hilda, that.
So the things of just saying that these kids are young and so you can't do certain things, that is where most parents have actually gone wrong. Because then you're looking at them jumping in the chairs and you're thinking they're young.
They're young.
You're looking at them going to the tap and opening the water endlessly.
They're young.
They are young. You're looking at them go to the toilet without flushing. They are young.
But don't we have adults doing that now?
The problem is we have people picking after them.
Exactly. So they were not told that you don't open a tap and leave it to flow.
Yeah.
I find an adult today washing while the tap is flowing in the sink.
That's the thing. I think this generation is totally different. Because someone actually asked me, because when the way I use water, you open, use, and then you don't just leave it flowing.
Yes.
But I've seen people do that. And so I'm like, I think it's the difference in training. I think where I grew up from, maybe I was even poor. I didn't have a tap in the house, maybe in Kekerizanyo, and maybe other people just had water, and water is normal. But I think the upbringing really matters, parenting really matters. And now as we talk about the parenting, the choices about where our children go. Because it's going to happen. Apart from school, your mother will tell you, bring the children, I want to see them, or maybe your relatives, send them over for holiday. At school, they will have friends, and they will be like, they will even sing about these friends. And I have this friend, and then their parent, maybe you bump into each other, you've gone to pick kids, and then they're saying, you should bring them over for a weekend, a sleepover. You know, we have some food, we have some entertainment, deep into the night, and then they can sleep. What do you make of that?
Thank you, Hilda. It's good you've mentioned it at school. My children, my 2 older children go to Friends International Christian Academy. And my son, who is 12 years now, has friends. And as parents, we know each other. Because these children are so close to each other. And I meet, there's a time when one of them had his birthday last year and insisted on having my son. And there were only 3 of them there. They didn't have so many people. Those were the only friends he invited. And then his cousins and then family. And when we went there, we wanted to know who these people are. Okay? In less than a year, 2 years, we're saying, we're giving you our children. We don't know you. So we can't allow you to have a sleepover. We shall have you come, let's eat. As they come home for lunch, for dinner, we tell the parents, please pick your children. As we do that, we are studying them. We know. And by the way, I'm a Christian, born again Christian. I will sense, I will pray about it. I will pray for my children. I will listen to them. I'm not a sleepover person. And I put it into my children that you need to be content with home.
This is your home.
It is your home. Whether you're sleeping on a mat or not, it is your home. Whether you have a video game or video something, or I don't know what, you know, we went to another home and they loved it and we're there, they played. And then my young son was telling me, the third one was telling me, Mama, we should go back to Auntie Julie's home. I said, yeah, we shall go back. We should go for a sleepover. I said, no sleepover. But we shall go and you play. You can have these things. Be content with what you have. That is something we need to teach them. And that is what is getting our children into trouble. Why do you want to leave home?
because there's something they want to look for. They are not content.
They are running away from something, so they want. So if we don't teach them that, do you know that the devil uses that?
Of course.
To make them think it is, you go out there,
there's
you can have
better out
something
there.
better.
Yeah,
but once we teach you how to be content, the Bible says that when Adam saw Eve, he was content.
This is it. This is the final package. I'm not expecting anything else. I think lack of contentedness, I think this spurs into other areas of life. Why people cheat, why people, because they're thinking this is not it. I think there is something browner. Better. I think there is something taller. I think there is something. And I think for me, one of the greatest things, lessons, and I don't know how, I actually need to find that out as we have this discussion, how to teach the children to be content, because I believe that was the strongest thing that my parents taught me. I usually tell people I watched my first TV at campus. We didn't even have TV. But I keep asking myself, how did that woman keep us in the house entertained and okay? Like these days you can have a 100-inch screen and have all the cartoons in the world and the child will still feel that there's a problem. But I was so content that there is no day I ever thought maybe I should go and have a holiday. And most of my relatives used to say, she has a hard heart. And I was like, it's okay, I have a hard heart. I will stay home even when we have no food, even when this is my home. And I think that saves a lot. And it speaks a lot into the adults that you are going to become and the decisions that you're eventually going to make. So I know that time runs very fast, and I know that these some have had conversations to have, especially when it comes to parenting, because there's no one size fits all, and there's no manual for parenting. Everyone is just tumbling into, surprises and thinking, how do I go about this when we hear horrific stories? How do we dodge this? So we live in a perpetual world of reaction, not really planning and responding, by the way. So when we come back, we talk about how to create contentedness as a way of response to the things that are happening in a very fast way in the world. Instead of just being reactionary and bumping into things, we should be able to create a system, which system will actually help us create stability even in the children and in their future. So we're waiting for your comments. Make sure that you throw them in below in the comment section, and let's learn together. Don't go away.